Yeah, very good afternoon. Very honored to be part of this August gathering. So all my learned and friends of wisdom. In fact, as you know, Telangana is a nascent state, a newly born one. So from the undivided state of Andhra Pradesh, barely 5 years back. So in fact, we have inherited issues of legacy. So the problems, there was large-scale erosion in the brand value of Muzia. That is the brand name which we sell our milk and milk products there. In fact, it was a very shaky journey for us in the dairy sector as far as Telangana state is concerned. So from there, we started building up brick by brick. And in fact, in the last 3 years, our turnover went up by around 25%. And there were huge liabilities of 30 crores for the federation at the time of formation of the federation and the state. And from there, in the last 3 years, we have discharged all our liabilities and went into a 61 crore solid net profit now. And in fact, 2 years back, that was the situation by 2018-19. Last year, we were almost about to launch off. We are on a launching pad there. So we are on a very upward growth journey. But suddenly, the pandemic was a bolt from the blue. There were large-scale issues of adaptation. Large-scale issues of adaptation were there. So naturally, it was uncharted waters we have to sail through. See, under these circumstances, and of course, we have a state where there was very stiff competition from the private sector here. Corporate sector is very, very strong here. So then, naturally, there was large-scale disruption in our logistics, supply chain management issues have come up, and particularly all our institutional markets have shut down because of the pandemic. And particularly the product sales have suffered hugely. And we have a huge market in Mumbai and Delhi for our ghee and also for butter. And these markets have suddenly shrunk. These are all big issues that have come up there. But then immediately we thought that whenever there is a problem, we need to convert this problem into an opportunity. That is what the best thing we have to do. So immediately we made a SWOT analysis. What are our strong points? So how to go about it. And in fact, so we found that the cooperatives are the one, we are very robust cooperative network is there. And we are not like private players who are just interested in what you call it as exploitative mode and opportunity profiteering. Naturally, we need to take a long-term view. And we are not passing players. And cooperative sector, interest of the consumer and interest of the farmer is uppermost. And in that processing sector also we have a dedicated manpower. So we need to encash upon all these strengths. That's what we find. So immediately we set in motion and try to build upon our strengths and try to convert the problems into an opportunity there. So immediately we started setting our logistic chain, whether it is in the procurement or it is in the marketing or in the processing sector. And in fact, the government of Telangana has constituted a central logistic monitoring committee. For that, actually, the MD Dairy myself was made the convener. So I took fullest opportunity of this situation. So immediately we coordinated with the police and the transportation department and all other departments there. And I was there sitting straight in the central control room. So there we started setting out all the issues of transportation of the tankers, the raw milk tankers from the villages, etc. And then moving off our liquid milks in the early morning into the consumers in the Hyderabad metropolitan particularly. And not only for ourselves, even for the private sector also, we started providing them a helping hand. That we found that there was a huge opportunity in the pandemic actually. The opportunity here is particularly when the institutional markets went down, some of the strong corporate brands whose sales are mainly in the institutional markets actually. So they lost their market suddenly. So immediately they stopped procuring from the farmers. So there we thought there is an opportunity. So immediately we went and started expanding our farmer base. And we started procuring for them, irrespective of whether we make a profit or loss there. Because we need to strengthen and widen our farmers base there and build loyalty with them. That's going to be a long-term investment there. Then another thing is in the Hyderabad metro market also. So the other private, the corporate sector and private dairies, they could not provide the milk in time to the farm, to the consumer there. But then we stepped in, particularly being close to the government, so being from the government side actually. So we are able to reach the consumer. And quite interestingly, our liquid milk sales went up. They did not go down, as in the case of many other dairies actually. In fact, we have registered a sharp increase in our liquid milk sales. And our share in Hyderabad market, which earlier used to be 26%, suddenly went up by 45%. So we thought that yes, this is the right thing. Then another thing is we suddenly started that found that there is a new opportunity that has come in the form of the pandemic there, because a large number of urban consumers actually they started going for the long shelf products, particularly the long shelf UHT milk, and suddenly there is a spurt in the UHT milk. So immediately we ramped up our production capacities. We started running our UHT plant 24/7, and in fact there was almost 30% increase in our UHT milk, the long shelf milk there. So that we made huge profit out of it. Then another thing is we started making bondage with our farmers, and particularly expanding the farmers base there. And in fact, there was a 15% sharp increase in the farmers base, our membership, and our procurement also went up. So on the one hand, we started trusting our bondage with the farmers and started building trust and with the consumers as well. Then another important area what we find is the pandemic has thrown up certain new challenges and new opportunities. See, now we are not able to reach certain consumers there. They want your product, but you are not able to supply during the lockdown period, particularly the testing time period, COVID phase 1 or phase 2. So at that time, immediately, as Professor Misra was suggesting, technology is a very important thing. That's where you need to bank upon. In fact, the future is on technology. We can't shy away from it. So immediately we evolved a new mobile app within a span of 48 hours. We developed a mobile app with some of our IT teams there. And we developed the IT app, the mobile app there. Through the mobile app, so we started giving an opportunity to the individual consumer, not just our vendor, to bid their orders there. So straight away delivery. So delivery boys, in fact, the government has given opportunity for the delivery boys to move, like Swiggy, Zomato. Along with them, we urged our government saying that let them move, allow our delivery boys also move there. So that's another important area. So this mobile app, door delivery system, using the IT systems, that made a very big difference. It's not just in terms of the product we have made or otherwise the money we have made. No, that's not the thing. But the trust we are able to build up and the confidence we are able to build up and the visibility that has come up in the consumers there. That makes more investment. That's an investment fund. Then another important dimension that the pandemic has grown for us, the opportunity, the challenge which is converted into an opportunity is there is a human dimension, social responsibility. As you know, particularly during the pandemic one, there was a very big humanitarian crisis, particularly of the migrant laborers getting stuck up here and there, moving on the roads, and later on special trains being set up. As you know, Hyderabad Metro is the one which is home for large scale, that means lakhs of migrant laborers, particularly from Orissa, Bihar. These are the two states there. So at that time, so we stepped in immediately and we saw a market opportunity here. It's not in the terms of selling, but on the one hand, responsibility, social responsibility, and on the other hand, so growing our visibility, getting into the news there. So we started distributing free all our liquid milk and certain dairy products, including our Vijaya water also, to the migrant laborers who are moving on the road in the initial stages. Then later on, when the government of Telangana has pressed in with the Indian Railways, Indian Railways, the special trains were brought into the Bihar state and Orissa state. So in coordination with the government, of course, I was there on the steering committee. So immediately we started providing them with milk and milk products and also water there with the Vijaya brand. And all the railway stations are there, showcasing Vijaya there everywhere, and all the TV channels and all the newspapers. See, that was a huge market investment for me in terms of advertising, etc. So that's how I thought that probably these are all the things where we can transform the challenge into an opportunity there. So that is how we are able to somehow pass through the COVID stage and successfully. In fact, our turnover has slightly went down, but in fact, our net profits have not come down, and we are able to widen our market base, and we are able to strengthen our bondage with the farmers on one hand and bondage with our consumers on the other hand, and we are able to build trust and confidence in the government as. Because the government has also appreciated, as you know, so the robust government support, active proactive role from the government, will definitely make a long-term investment for us. And post-COVID phase, as you know, as Raju has suggested, yes, there is a shifting consumer choice is there. So we need to capitalize on it. Then another important thing we have seen is post-COVID phase, large number of small players, the mini dairies, certain private vendors who are playing a very big role in the market here in the Telangana state. Suddenly they started disappearing because they are not able to survive for so long, for 2 years. Particularly they provide to the institutional colleges, otherwise schools, and some of the restaurants, etc. They have been closed for very long. Quite recently they are open, so they could not sustain. They have all disappeared. So we are there to take their space. So this is an opportunity even in the post-COVID phase. Then another important area where what we are focusing on the post-COVID phase is, so as you know, the productivity of the animal in the Telangana state is, particularly the milk yield per animal is below the national average. So now we are focusing on increasing the animal productivity. So particularly by reducing the dry period of the animal and going in for the artificial insemination in a big way. Of course, along with our in coordination with the TSLD, that is our livestock development agency. So we are bringing in a sort of convergence, and we are trying to capitalize and rebuild again back in the COVID phase. So thank you. That's what we are. My picks are. So probably I think Telangana is a success story as far as managing the COVID is concerned in the dairy sector, and we hope we'll be able to continue it in the coming days also. We are not worried about COVID-3 also. We are very much ready because we have learned our lessons very well. So we are battle hardened now. Thank you.